You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.
Scorpio.
Good morning, Yankees universe, and welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Thursday, May 29th. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, joined by the compañero this morning. We got the lovely Grace Monroe, and all you Yankee fans, wake up and get your coffee. Grace, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling amazing. We are rich beyond our wildest dreams. We're in first place. The Red Sox are horrible. The Orioles are done. I'm feeling wonderful. How are you feeling, Hector?
I'm feeling groovy. I'm feeling great. Like you said, the New York Yankees, we are in first place on this Thursday, May 29th. I think we got a 6.5, 7-game lead in the division. Again, we can't touch the money. We can't count your chickens before the eggs hatch. I understand it's May 29th. We just took what, 5 out of 6 from the Colorado Rockies and the Los Angeles Angels. I get it. They're not the top dogs in baseball, but a win is a win, Grace. If we would have been on a losing streak, people would have been pointing that out as well. So you got to be able to take your wins when you could get them and just count them as victories.
I heard a stat this morning, and it was that no team in Major League Baseball has more wins versus teams over 500 than the New York Yankees. So, yeah, give me the bell. So that makes me want a taco. Is that the Taco Bell?
Yeah, that's a Taco Bell. Yeah, that's a Taco Bell.
Okay, good. So I am just like Pavlov's dog over here, and when I hear that bell, let's get a taco. But yeah, we have the most. There are a couple teams tied with us for the amount of wins that we have versus 500 teams. But nobody has more. Nobody has more. So I really don't want to hear the conversation or the argument that, oh, you only win against teams that are no. Nobody has more wins versus 500 record teams than the New York Yankees. So
I want to shout out the chat real quick. Shout out the folks that's on Instagram right now. If you're watching us on Instagram, my man Hit Squad is in the building. Rashad is in the building as well. NYC Heck, how you doing? But over here on YouTube, we got one of the best communities that are out there. Oh, my man Pico de Gallo is in the building. Anthony Gallo, 1/3 of Theo Allen friends. Shout out to my guy Anthony Gallo. I love you, bro. Shout out to Theo Nosebleed section, who is in the building. Jacob Petruzzi is in the building. My guy Jason Custudio. Good afternoon, Jacob. Wait, what happened? Was that?
He said he's on his way home from work.
You on your way home from work, my guy Jacob? Well, I used to work overnight. So if you work the overnight shift, just know that thoughts and prayers is with you. Shout out to you. I know it ain't easy. You going home with the sun out and everybody's out and about. Shout out to my guy Jacob Petruzzi, who is in the building. We got Cisco in the building. Our good friend Tina. Tina, how you doing? L.I. Yankee King. Hold on, I got this for L.I. L.I. Yankee King, the only troll in the Yankee universe I acknowledge is my friend L.I. Yankee King. L.I., I hope all is well. Richie Squires is in the building. Anna Marie is in the building. Eric Katz, how you doing? Folks, like always, salute, 3 capital S's. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. When it comes to subscribers, we jumped up a little bit on the counter. We are at 5,332 subscribers, an extra 12 subs since the last show. So we appreciate all the new subscribers, all the new viewers who watch us on the playback of the Yankees Morning Brew, and everybody who's in the chat. We got Old Sarge in the building. We got to shout out Mr. Old Sarge in the building. How you doing? And then of course we got Justin. Go ahead.
I was thinking, where is Old Sarge? I almost texted you and said, where's Old Sarge? We've been missing you, Old Sarge. Good to see you in the chat today. Hope you're doing well. Warface. Okay, I get it. I remember, but it's good to see you.
Yeah, definitely. Got to have that war face on. And of course, my guy, Mr. Caleb Vasquez in the building. Grace, the Yankees, we swept the Angels, right? Clark Schmidt was phenomenal. 1-run baseball. Anthony Volpe with another RBI, 33 on the season for Anthony Volpe. You know, Anthony Volpe is tied for 4th in all of Major League Baseball with 16 doubles. That's a stat that I saw this morning that just jumped out to me and say the calzone Anthony Volpe, he may be here. Grace, I'll kick it over to you. Let's get your thoughts on last night's game and all the key points that we've mentioned.
Oh man, well, I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts on last night's game. I sent you a couple things to bring up as well about last night's game.
I'm sorry. I just banged the shit out of my elbow and I'm trying.
Oh, are you okay? Funny bone? Oh no.
The funny bone. I'm trying to hold it in so bad. I'm sorry, Grace.
No, that sucks. You know what always happens to me? My feet fall asleep. I'm always walking like, oh God. People are like, are you okay? I'm like, oh, my foot's asleep. I'm fine. Anyway, yeah. Ron Washington intentionally walking Judge two times in the first two. Like he intentionally walked him twice by the second inning. It was wild. Yeah, Ron Washington does not play. I'm sure we're gonna bring up that that video I sent you or whatever, but that was quite exciting. Schmidt looked okay. He found it, and you know what? At the end of the day, he didn't allow a run. So how can you complain, right? I told myself last night, you know what, Grace? You really need to try to just not complain about the Yankees until they lose a game. Like they're winning. They're in first place. They're on a streak. They're doing everything right. I mean, they're tearing it up. So how can you complain, right? So again, at the end of the day, he got the win, just like Devin Williams. At the end of the day. The other day, he got the win. Mark Leiter, good job. You know, it's tough. 1-0 ball is tough to play. So those are my thoughts.
I just want to say something. Shout out to my moms, because my mom, she hates that phrase at the end of the day, right? Oh, really? Whenever she hears anybody say, well, you know, at the end of the day, she's like, it's still the end of the day, so shut the fuck up, all right? She cannot stand
like
that
your
phrase.
Mom says that?
My mom, she doesn't hold back whatsoever. You guys think that I'm wicked with my mouth. My mom, she's on a whole nother level.
Oh, bye, Hector. See ya. Please stand by. Uptown Sports TV is having some technical difficulties. Thank you for your patience. We will get to the next caller in the order received. You're back.
So I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. I just got to fix my voice, my soundboard. This is what happens. I'm sorry about that, guys. But no, getting excited about my mom. Like you said, Aaron Judge, he kind of set a record. He did something historic for the New York Yankees yesterday. I want to bring it up real quick, and I'll kick it back to you because I want to play that video from Ron Washington as I fix my soundboard. But Aaron Judge, Katie Sharp put it out there on Twitter. Aaron Judge is the first Yankee to be intentionally walked in the first inning since Robinson Cano on June 17th, 2012. I had fucking hair on the top of my head in 2012. Also, Katie Sharp put it out there. Aaron Judge is the first Yankee to be walked intentionally twice in the first two innings of a game since Gene Woodling on August 3rd, 1953. That's a Snapple fact right there from the past. Go ahead, Grace.
That's incredible. To be intentionally walked twice in the first two innings. I mean, the amount of respect that Ron Washington showed Aaron Judge. And Ron Washington, he has been around. He has been around the block. He has seen a lot of hitters and played a lot of games and managed a lot of games. And the fact that he did that, I said on Twitter, we just saw Ron Washington admit that Aaron Judge is the GOAT, because that's exactly what he did. I mean, it was amazing, and I love Ron Washington. You got to love Ron Washington, so.
Yeah, no.
And Robinson Cano was my future husband. Don't ever forget. I loved him. I loved him in my, teenage, Robinson Cano. I was obsessed with him, and I still think he's fine as hell. Love my husband. We're very happily married, but Trey is well aware of my infatuation with Robinson Cano, so shout out to Robin for being the last guy who was intentionally walked.
Shout out Robinson Cano. Don't you know, one of my favorite Yankees growing up. And yeah, shout out to my mom. She's hilarious. Anna Marie, I appreciate you. And Hector's mom got him through this screen. Yeah, absolutely. She helped me get me through this. But one thing I say, I got the video from Ron Washington, and at the winter meetings, talking to Ron Washington was one of the best moments of my life. That man The amount of baseball knowledge he has in just one fucking pinky, no one can compare to.
You're muted again, Hector. I saw you touch your mic. It flashed. But yes, Ron Washington, he was amazing. And living in Texas, I've been kind of in the zeitgeist of Ron Washington lore for a while because he was a beloved manager of the Texas Rangers for years. When he left, everyone was completely devastated. And he's a really lovable guy. He's an old school baseball manager. Not a statistician type of guy, an analytics type of guy. He's a feel, he's a gut, he's a history type of baseball manager. And he's really like one of the last ones left at this point. You got like Bruce Bochy, Ron Washington, like I don't know how many old school baseball managers there are left in the game since Dusty left. Dusty was one of them.
Dusty, Ron Washington, from Texas also. What's from the Rangers? I'm forgetting his name. Bruce Bochy as well. You could throw the Cincinnati Reds manager.
Francona.
Oh my God. Terry Francona as well.
I was thinking about
him, but they're mostly just young guys. That are there. Carlos Mendoza, he's a young manager. Aaron Boone is a young manager as well. So when it comes to baseball, the old school manager is a dying breed. Like you said, they're rare. Ron Washington, and then the other guy, Bruce Bochy, over there for the Rangers. So it's rare to see older managers in this day and age. I know some folks would want to see the old school Joe Torres back in the dugout, but it's a different game, but you got to be able to cherish those that are still around, like Ron Washington, like Bruce Bochy, like Terry Francona, who's been through it, who's been around Major League Baseball for the longest. So shout out to Wash and all the other managers that we've mentioned. But I got the video right here, so I want to play this. And this was a bit funny. I'm not gonna lie, this was a bit funny. And Ron Washington, this right here sums up his character and his personality in just this one little clip.
So some interaction between Judge and Ron Washington.
Well, you have the best hitter in baseball. You have first base open, runner.
Yeah.
And that's more respect and understanding the situation. But at the same time, it's like, I'm gonna joke around with you. And that's what Ron Washington was. And you saw that clip right there summarized his character in just those 6, 7, 8 seconds.
Yeah, and I think Ron Washington thought the same thing about Aaron Judge. I think that he was kind of thrilled and tickled by seeing Aaron Judge's character. And the fact that he had been walked twice intentionally, and then he tipped his cap to the opposing team's manager because he was going to let him have an at-bat. He was actually going to let him have an at-bat. And instead of, taking it getting, being petty, Aaron Judge looked over and tipped his cap at him, and Ron Washington lost it. And, you love to see it. Like Ron Washington, like you said, he's a lovable guy. And he's awesome. But anyway, great moment.
Last thing I want to point out when it comes to Ron Washington, at the winter meetings, we've met Brian Hoke, right? We met all the other Jack Curry, all the other sports reporters, the journalists that cover the game. But when I tell you, Grace, these are guys that they're used to being around superstars like Aaron Judge. They're used to being around Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, Fernando. They're used to being around these superstar baseball players. But when I tell you, they all got giddy when every time Ron Washington went outside for a smoke break, which is probably like every 3 or 4 times in an hour, but every time Ron Washington went outside for a smoke break, everybody was going over there, gravitating to him. And you saw the kids and these grown-ass men shining because of the stories that Ron Washington was telling. So that's one last thing I got when it comes to Ross. Let's shout out the chat as well. We got my guy Hector in the building. Hector, how you doing? Salute, 3 capital S's. My man Froggy Fresh is in the building. Froggy said this earlier, Grace. I'm not sure if you saw this. He says, shout out to Hector and Grace. Good on y'all for being the Angels. I got something in Texas I never thought I would see again. It's called rain. Shout out to my guy Froggy dealing with the rain that's in Texas. Shout out to you, my guy. Salute. We got the people's champ. We got Theo Dennis in the building. Bendy Shung, Theo. I hope all is well with you. Switching gears just a little bit because Aaron Judge, He's struggling, Grace. He's hitting 391 with 18 home runs, 47 RBIs. It's weird to say that Aaron Judge is struggling when he's hitting 391. As much as I would have loved to see Aaron Judge hit 400 for an entire season, I understand the days of that happening in the 60s and fit whatever the hell that happened last. It's never going to happen again. The last time Ted Williams did that, I don't think we'll ever see that in Major League Baseball, just because the level of competition, right? Aaron Judge has to deal with, at least in a 3-game series, maybe 4, 5, 6 guys that are throwing over 100 miles per hour. I'm not sure if Ted Williams saw that same type of athlete or pitcher when he was hitting. Not to poo-poo on Ted Williams, one of the greatest baseball players of all time, one of the greatest Latinos, because he was half Mexican, one of the greatest baseball players of all time in Ted Williams, right? But I just think the level of competition is different. I just think the grind is different in 2025. Yes, you're on first-class charter planes going from city to city, but I just think it's more of a wear and tear on your body in this day and age. And Aaron Judge, you got to give him flowers because he hit over 400 for basically what it felt like the first 2.5 months of the season, Grace.
It's really hard too when you don't see any pitches to hit. You're intentionally walked twice, and then the first time you get an actual at bat, it's mostly way outside, trying to see if you'll chase it all, and then maybe you get a couple strikes. I mean, they're pitching him so tough. It makes it even more challenging to try to get that hit, to stay in your rhythm, to stay in your body and feel your swing and time it out when you're getting intentionally walked. I mean, and they don't even have to throw 4 balls. They just throw up 4 fingers now and you take first base. So you're not even seeing the pitches at all come out of the pitcher's hand at all. I mean, it's extremely difficult. And again, I wanted to point out, they intentionally walked Aaron Judge to load the bases. There is no one who can protect Aaron Judge. There is no one. He's just out there by himself and doing the best he can, and he's still batting almost 400 after Memorial Day. So, yeah, I mean, if you watch every single game and you've watched Aaron Judge for years, you can see that he's not feeling super, super comfortable at the plate. And yet he's still leading the league in every.
That's the crazy part about it. Because he even says, he's like, well, I'm not 100% there yet. What do you mean, my guy? You're hitting basically 400. What do you mean you're not 100% there?
When they were playing the Rockies, I watched the post-game interview, and it was a Rockies reporter, a Rockies beat guy, right? And he was asking Aaron, I'm sure he was like so excited because Aaron Judge is here, right? I'm in the Yankees locker room, and I'm asking Aaron Judge a question. And he asked him, how do you think this is the best 2 months of your entire career? And Aaron Judge goes, no, I'm still not feeling great at the plate. And he goes, you're hitting 400. And Aaron Judge just kind of smiled at him and did his usual, oh shucks, well, I don't really look at the numbers and I try not to think about that. And I was laughing so hard because I was like, these Rockies reporters don't know the Aaron Judge act, right? The Aaron Judge swag, the way he always acts like, oh yeah, whatever, I can still be better. The Rockies reporters didn't know that. He did not expect him to have that answer. And he was thrown. It was hilarious.
I want to shout out my guy Ace Avenue in the building. The Ace Avenue, how you doing, folks? Make sure you guys go and watch my guy Ace over there. He does one of the greats. I know there's a lot of different Yankee channels that do the watch alongs and stuff like that. My guy Ace, he does a real good watch along. Make sure you guys go and show some love. He's family over here at Uptown Sports TV. Ace, my guy, we got to get you up on here, Ace. You gotta let me know when you are free on a Tuesday or Thursday to join me and Grace Monroe. Somebody else who's family, we got to shout out our guy, Mr. TC Stills in the building. TC, how you doing? Oh, I love me, my guy TC. I hope all is well, Mr. TC Stills. I hope the family's doing good. I hope Pops and Bro is doing good as well. Switching gears, Grace, because we got to get a little serious right now. Okay. Shout out to Pretty Lou as well. Guys, make sure June 21st, make sure you guys are locked in. Mama D's Empanada. They got the Oswaldo Cabrera event going on. Shout out to my guy Pretty Lou, and shout out to the family over there at Mama D's Empanada. Mama D's, Steve, and everybody over there. We send out love. So shout out to them. switching gears because we got to get serious real quick.
Okay.
Hold on. Gotta get serious.
Tacos!
DJ LeMahieu hitting 184 since returning from his IL stint. 1 home run, 3 RBIs. Now, this is from NewYorkSports.com. This is an article. While Stanton is nearing his return, Andrew Wright of Newsweek predicted LeMahieu not just can lose a starting role to make room for Giancarlo Stanton, but could see the end of his tenure with the New York Yankees. Grace, what do we do with DJ LeMahieu now, or DJ John Davidson Jimlehu, whatever his name is? What do we do?
I just disagree with this take. I do not think they will DFA DJ LeMahieu at all, while there's still somebody on the team that has options. And I'm thinking about Yorbit Bibas. I think it's much more likely that they option him down to AAA and keep DJ LeMahieu on the team. So I just think that that's what they're going to do. I think that Judge will not Judge. Oh my God. Don't even say that. Get that out of my mouth. Judge is fine. He's healthy. He's healthy forever and nothing's ever going to happen to him. When Stanton comes back, Reyes will go. And then when Jazz comes back, Vivas will go back down to AAA. That's what I think. And DJ will stay on the team.
Because there's with Jazz Chisholm on the IL, if Jazz comes back, Vivas goes down. What happens when Stanton comes back?
Reyes goes.
Oh, Reyes goes. Okay, I'm sorry. I misheard you when you said, yeah, Reyes goes.
No, you're good. I think those two are the ones, not DJ. I think DJ will be on the team all year. I do think that.
I think when it comes down more to the money, right? And we've seen the Yankees operate. We've seen it with Aaron Hicks. We've seen it with Josh Donaldson. They wait till you get to like the last bit of it before they like, you know what? We're going to eat that. I'm going to cut this play and let him go. So when it comes to DJ LeMahieu, I got to agree with you. I'm not sure about that Newsweek article. You know, they like to do Yankees clickbait and stuff like that and generate clicks. I don't see a scenario where the Yankees just say, you know what, we're just going to eat this $90 million and not get anything back in return, or not try to get something out of DJ LeMahieu. But seeing DJ out there, the struggles are just very, very apparent, especially with how bad the Yankees' lower third of the lineup is, that 7th, 8th, and 9th spot. Having DJ LeMahieu be an automatic out is very alarming right now. We had a little bit of excitement because he did hit well down in his rehab start. He came up, he had an opposite field home run. We all thought, oh my God, okay, maybe this is something. But then you see DJ LeMahieu struggle against the Rockies and struggle against the Angels. Now, it'll be one thing, Grace, if you struggle against the Seattle Mariners, we could give you grace because they're one of the top pitching staff in all of baseball. If you struggle against the Detroit Tigers and Tyreek Skubal, we could give you a little bit of grace. But struggling against the Rockies and the Angels, who are arguably one of the worst pitching staff or pitching rotations in baseball, that's something that got to start ringing and sounding alarms in the Yankees front office.
Yeah, I think he's just tired. I think his body is just, it is what it is. I think he's just tired, and it sucks because he just came back. But when you have injuries and you're trying not to get re-injured, and I don't know. Yeah. It's okay. As long as he gives great defense, he will be fine on the bench. When everybody's back, right? He'll be fine. Now, wait. Yes. Ideally, he'd be coming off the bench. But it's looking like we were right, Hector, on Tuesday, because we were talking about how we were smelling a little something that the Yankees were cooking with Jazz Chisholm Jr. coming back, and that he possibly could be back to third, not second. And then what happened yesterday on the broadcast? All freaking night, Michael Kay was planting those seeds for the Yankees, that Jazz Chisholm was going to come back and play third. Then Brian Hoke all but confirmed it on Twitter. And everybody has been saying, kind of the chatter has been going that way. But we knew it already. We said it on Tuesday, didn't we?
Yeah. I'm just laughing here because Jacob in the chat. Fuck you, Jacob. Jacob's like, Hector, where you at? In your bathroom? No, this is not a shower curtain, all right? This is just my my window curtain, Jacob.
God.
All right. I don't know anybody who has liquor bottles in their bathroom. If you do, you be having fun in the bathroom. Shout out to my guy Jacob Petruzzi, who is in the chat. But one thing I can say is, Grace, is when you're good, you're good. When you're right, you're right. You and I, we were both, when we were talking about it on Tuesday, we brought up the fact that, hey, nobody's bringing up the conversation that when Jazz Chisholm comes back, he's going to be at third base and not second base, right? And it gives the Yankees more time to evaluate the second base and third base situation, because right now, Oswaldo, I'm not sure Oswaldo's going to be able to be what he was before that injury because of how bad and the type of injury it was. So if you could get Jazz Chisholm to play some third base, right? Peraza, I know he had a home run in the series against the Angels, but personally, I would rather Peraza out there at third with Jazz at second instead of Jazz being out there at third with DJ LeMahieu at second, because that's what the Yankees are going to do. They're going to take this opportunity to have Jazz Chisholm play third base so DJ LeMahieu can still play second base. And at this part in the game on May 29th, I know Peraza hasn't been hitting best, hasn't been out there, blowing up the stat sheet. I get that. I understand that. But I would rather Oswaldo Peraza out there trying to figure it out than DJ LeMahieu this late in the game when it comes to his career and when it comes to his health. That's just personally me.
Yeah, I heard also on Talking Yanks, they said that Oswald Peraza has never played 5 major league starts in a row in his entire career until this week. This was the first time he ever had 5 starts in a row. And I'm like, damn. And it sucks because we're all kind of feeling like, well, he should have gotten going by now. But at the same time, that, like Judge said, give him a chance. So we have options. Look, this is a good place to be in going into the trade deadline. I'm sure this is what Brian Cashman is thinking. Is there a great third baseman available? Copy. Jazz will play second. Is there a great second baseman available? Copy. Jazz will play third. Otherwise, we'll fill in the holes as we need to, and we can attack starting pitching, bullpen arms, and all that stuff that we need to do to really take us down the stretch through the postseason and let our bats have a chance to come through and take us back and win the World Series this time.
Yeah, so, it like you said, it gives the Yankees options, right? When you look at the third base situation, right? If you get Jazz Chisholm and he could slide in at third base, the Yankees could pivot to the second base market to try to get a second baseman. Or if there's no second basemen that they like, they can slide Jazz back to second and go out there and get a third baseman. There was one third baseman in this series for the Angels that I'm like, maybe the Yankees could give him a call. And that was Mercado, who had a home run off of Devin Williams. Solid third baseman, a switch hitter as well. When you look at the options that are out there, he is not a bad option to give a chance to play third base. And he's versatile. He could play short. He could play second as well. What's your thoughts on Mercado, somebody that you and we brought up during the offseason?
I mean, I don't know. I like Jazz at third, fine. I don't know. He didn't wow me to where I was like, oh my God, we gotta go get this guy. But I mean, I don't know. I don't want to trade Ben Rice for him.
No, I'm not. But that's the thing.
Well, who would we trade?
I don't want to trade. One, you won't have to trade any top prospects because he's on a 1-year deal, right? He's on a 1-year prove-it deal. It's not like he's hitting over 330 and he's knocking on the door at the All-Star game. No, this is a serviceable major league player that if the Yankees have to pick up the phone and call, maybe you could throw some low-level prospects at the Angels for him or some cash considerations, right? Not Spencer Jones, like Old Sarge just put in the chat. Shout out to Old Sarge. Not Spencer Jones. We can't trade Spencer Jones. But no, if the price is right, I wouldn't mind it. But, and here's the big caveat. Here's the big but. I still want to see Ben Rice at third base.
I know, and they were not talking about the other day, a couple days ago on the broadcast, they were saying that the Yankees were well aware that Rice needs to find a foothold in the lineup. And I was like, yes, it's happening. It's going to happen. And then last night, it was all the chatter about Jazz playing third. And I was like, oh, shit. Because now they're not going to even try Ben Rice over there. Ben Rice is not going to play second. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I want to grab the camera.
I don't know. This is looking like a scenario where the Yankees may be entertaining trading Ben Rice. That's the only thing that makes sense right now, right? Because if he was in the future plans for the Yankees, if the Yankees were entertaining trying to put him at third base, they would be having the conversations not only about Jazz, but about Ben Rice at third base right now as well. And they aren't. And that's the thing that most Yankee fans find alarming, myself included.
Yeah, because he has value.
He does.
And I don't want to say it's harsh to say he's redundant, but it is. He's redundant. We don't have a spot. We literally don't have an everyday spot for him. So he's redundant and he has value. That is exactly what earmarks you as a trade piece. And I hate it. I don't want him to be traded. I'm tripping. I'm tripping about it, but I'm afraid. I
want to take this chance to point out the Scrabble word that Grace used, redundant. For those of you guys that went to New York City public schools like myself, redundant means not or no longer needed or useful. The word of the day for today is redundant.
Oh my God. Oh Lord. All right. You're too funny. Shout out to Texas public school systems. Anyway. But speaking of Jazz, he is starting his rehab assignment today. So it is close. This is happening and it's close. Now, Stanton, they did mention last night, is past his 60-day IL stint. He is eligible to return any day, but they are not in any type of rush to get Stanton back. I think they're really, really just like, hey, we're rolling. We're good. You chill over there and we'll let you know. I mean, they can't come out and say that, but I think that is exactly what they're doing. So, yeah, I mean, with Stanton in no rush, it still allows Ben Rice to utilize that DH spot and Trent Grisham and Jason Dominguez, how they've been doing. When Stanton comes back, that's when it's going to really crunch.
And this is where the alarms start to go off for me, right? This is where my anxiety gets the best of me, right? Because we've heard since the start of the season how desperately the New York Yankees are in need of a right-handed power bat. When you have somebody who's on your roster, granted, he's injured right now, who is a right-handed power bat, when you hear that the team is not rushing to bring him back, it has to sound some alarms off, right? And I'm not saying Giancarlo Stanton is never going to come back or anything like that. What I'm saying is that his injury or his rehab or his return is very questionable. Friday Said Yankees, they put this out. Giancarlo Stanton will take live batting practice for 2 weeks and then potentially go on a rehab assignment. This was according to Brian Cashman a couple of days ago. Literally, it was on Wednesday right after our show, so we weren't able to touch up on it. Or it was on Tuesday after our show where we weren't able to touch up on it. Grace, to me, alarms should be sounding off in the Yankees world. Because like I said, since the start of the season, we were told that the Yankees are in the market for a right-handed power bat. The Yankees need a right-handed power bat. You have one. But for some reason, we're not getting a definitive timeline for his return. To me, that's alarming. More alarms and more concerns more than anything else.
Yeah, I really think that this is based on absolutely nothing. But I just have a feeling that he has like a month of baseball to give before the pain is just too much. And the Yankees know that, and they are going to execute that month at the latest time possible. And that's going to be right before the postseason and into the postseason. I think that's my feeling. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Because like what you just brought up, they've been saying they need a right-hand power bat. We have one of the best right-hand power bats in the game, chilling at home. Well, chilling in the dugout. So, yeah, you're right. It's either extremely concerning they're not being totally honest about the injuries, or, like I said, he's only got a month to give before the pain is too bad, and they want to do that in October.
Right now, when you look at the standings in Major League Baseball, the New York Yankees in the East, we pointed out earlier. I'm just trying to pull it up right now. The New York Yankees are 35-20. We have a 7-game lead in the AL East. I like to believe, Grace, if the New York Yankees were in third place, if we were flat with the Toronto Blue Jays, if the Yankees were 27-28, I would like to believe that the Yankees would have some urgency in bringing back Giancarlo Stanton. The fact that we have a 7-game lead, the fact that it's May 29th and not August 29th, and they're like, we're not rushing Giancarlo Stanton back, gives me a little bit of breathing room, right? Because if this was August and they were saying the same nonsense, we're not trying to rush him back, I got more alarms and more concerns. Right now, I do have my guards up. I do have my alarms, but it allows me to take a breath of fresh air, knowing that the Yankees, they built themselves such a great lead in that division. I know you got to win whatever games you got. No lead is safe in any division. We've seen that. We've seen the Red Sox and Yankees turn a division lead like that in the span of 30 days. I get that, right? But again, on May 29th, I'm more easy letting Giancarlo Stanton wait and not rush back than I would if this was August 29th, if you guys understand the difference.
Yeah, that's a good point. I totally agree. Did you get the article that I sent you, though? Because Stanton is all over this article. So even though he may not be on the field and he may not be in the everyday lineup yet, his presence is being felt strongly in the clubhouse. Yes, thank you, Hector. Y'all, if you have 5 minutes to spare, this is a short, really, really great read by Brian Hoke here on MLB.com. And it's all about how Brian Cashman and the Yankees front office handed out the AL pennant championship, whatever you want to say, rings to the Yankees and all of their reactions. It is a great read. If you have 5 minutes to spare, I highly recommend that you go check out this article. If you want to scroll down a little bit, Hector, I want to get to the Giancarlo quote. Giancarlo, there it is. This isn't the one we wanted, boys, Giancarlo Stanton said, cutting through the ballroom chatter. The one that we want is in front of us. I better not see you guys wearing these around. Boom. Remember the story that came out where Giancarlo stepped in and had the locker room talk where he said, we don't get swept at home. We don't get swept at home. And he's laying down the hammer right here too. I better not see you guys wearing these around. And if you read the article is great. If you read the rest of the article, y'all, it goes and it quotes a lot of the different players on the team and how they felt. Judge, Tim Hill, Clark Schmidt, a lot of them, and how they feel about the ring, what they think about the ring, and how they're unsatisfied. Anthony Volpe said, like, I put it away. It was cool, but I put it away. They went on to talk about how the World Series championship rings have the interlocking NY on them. The AL championship ring have the old school bat with the Uncle Sam hat, the Yankees logo. They don't get the interlocking NY for an AL pennant. They only get the interlocking NY for a World Series championship, and that's what they all want. It's a really great read, y'all. I highly recommend you go check out this article. Shout out to a friend of the show, Brian Hoke. So, yeah.
I just got to say also, because when you sent me this and I was like, yeah, I got something to perfectly tee up for this, because something happened during the Subway series, right? This is something that a lot of people didn't know. Shout out to my guy Rizzo from Latino Sports, because he was the one who sent me the picture and stuff like that. Because Juan Soto got his ring from Aaron Boone in the corridor. This was game one. After Aaron Judge wasn't out there to see him, he went back inside, and Aaron Boone found him to give him that ring. Look at Boone looking cute with the gift shop bag. Look at him with the team store gift shop bag. But Juan Soto was able to get his ring. But like you said, like Giancarlo Stanton said, it's not the one we wanted, boys. I better not see none of you guys wearing or rocking that ring. Giancarlo Stanton is a leader in that clubhouse. I know Aaron Judge is the captain. Garrett Cole is the point B captain, but Giancarlo Stanton, he's in that conversation when it comes to leaders in that clubhouse. Giancarlo Stanton is one of those guys.
And you got to think about it like this. everybody on the team looks up to Aaron Judge, but who does Aaron Judge look up to?
Mm-hmm.
It's Giancarlo Stanton.
Absolutely.
When he came up as a little baby, little baby in the league, who took him under his wing? Giancarlo Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton is Aaron Judge's big brother. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody looks to Aaron. Aaron looks to Giancarlo.
Yeah.
So he is still locked in. He's with the team. He's in it to win it. Even though he's not on the field, he is a huge, huge part of this club. So I thought that was a good time to bring up that little article.
No, that was great. And when you look at both Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge, he came up in 2016 with 27 at-bats. His first full year was 2017. Giancarlo Stanton got traded to the Yankees in 2018. So Aaron Judge has been teammates with Stanton every year except for his rookie year, and we're in 2025. That's how long Giancarlo Stanton has been with the New York Yankees. It feels like an eternity. We're going to get to the point where Giancarlo Stanton has played more seasons with the New York Yankees than he did with the Miami Marlins. We're going to get to a point later on in life where Giancarlo Stanton is eligible for the Hall of Fame because of the numbers that he put up, and the conversation will happen. What hat would he wear in the Hall of Fame? Will it be the Yankees hat or will it be the Miami Marlins hat? Even though his numbers were way better with the Marlins, he has more seasons, or he's going to have more seasons with the Yankees than with the Marlins. That's just something I just wanted to throw out there. Somebody else on that list we got to talk about Grace before we get out of here. A couple more people. Anthony Volpe. Eric Bolin put it out there. Shout out to my guy Eric Bolin, one of the beat writers who covers the New York Yankees, who does a great job. Somebody that I've been honored to meet and call somebody that I rub elbows with, a colleague over there at Yankee Stadium. But Eric said Anthony Volpe, who came in today tied for fourth in the majors with 16 doubles, hits a 1-out double here in the 8th inning. Anthony Volpe with a 246 batting average, 6 home runs, and 33 RBIs. The other game or the other show, Grace, I said, yes, it's great that Anthony Volpe had a bases clearing double. That's awesome. What is Anthony Volpe going to do afterwards? And seeing that he was able to get that sac fly in yesterday's game, being the difference maker, you see Anthony Volpe this season is 3 for 10 with the bases loaded. He has become more of a situational hitter this year than he was in last year or his rookie year. If this was last year, he's hitting into a double play and the Yankees don't score.
I was saying, just put in the outfield. Just put in the outfield. Anywhere in the outfield, Volpe, you got this. You got this. Just put in the outfield. And then what did he do? He swung easy and he lifted it up into the outfield, and I knew it was going to get a run in, and that was the winning run of the game. That was it. We won 1-0. That's how important sac flies are. That's how important the 5-hole hitter is. And that's how important situational at-bats are. I know I'm preaching to the choir here. But yeah, it was beautiful. Sometimes when you take the pressure off of you and you don't say, like, I have to start the rally or I have to keep the rally going, all I have to do is put the ball in the air and let my brother on third base come home. And it takes all the pressure off of you, and you're like, I can do that. Here you go. And he did it. You know, and then sometimes that unlocks something in you. So hopefully that's the case. You know, we love Anthony Volpe around here. You know, we just have to have our expectations for him be appropriate, you know? So yeah, I don't want to trade Anthony Volpe. I don't want to do anything crazy.
Same. I don't want to trade Anthony Volpe. I don't want to give up on Anthony Volpe. I know a lot of Yankee fans are wishy-washy when it comes to the Calzone Anthony Volpe, but I've seen more glimpses of what Anthony Volpe could be, and that is what gives me hope when it comes to Volpe. I know a lot of Yankee fans are going to hate what I'm saying because they want to trade Volpe and they want to bring up George Lombard Jr. to be the shortstop for the future. I get it. I understand that George Lombard Jr. is the shiny toy in the Yankees prospect system, right? I would like to bring up George Lombard Jr. as well. Maybe move him at second, maybe move him at third, move him around, but I'm not in the rush to just give up on Anthony Volpe right now. I'm not, personally. Why'd you make that face, Grace?
Because I forgot I was going to do this whole shtick today. I was going to make a tinfoil hat. I was going to make a tinfoil hat And I was going to put it on and I was going to have this whole moment and I totally forgot about it until just now when you brought up George Lombard Jr. because my tinfoil hat moment was going to be about George Lombard Jr.
I would say when it comes because TC Stills just brought it up, the pitching has been carrying us through this month, which is shocking. The bats really need to step up. And talking about pitching, we got to talk about Clark Schmidt, right? Clark Schmidt 2-2 on the season with a 3.95 ERA. Shout out to our good friend Ryan Garcia from Fireside Yankees, friend of the show and friend of the channel, who said Clark Schmidt over his last 6 starts has a 2.94 ERA. He has a 3.60 FIP, 24.6% strikeout rate. And we look at his hard hit percentage, which is down, is at 29.1%. Clark Schmidt has really found it.
What are we going to do when Heel comes back? Who is going to leave? Who is going to bump? When Luis Heel comes back.
I was going to say, Grace, maybe the Yankees should just go to a 6-man rotation when Luis Heel comes back. Because when you look at it, I said Max Fried, you can't just throw Max Fried out 7 innings every start. You need to pull back on Max Fried. Maybe you add a 6-man rotation. Yarbrough most likely will go to the pen, but I would try to stretch out Yarbrough as much as I can because look at the results you're getting from Yarbrough. I know adding an extra lefty to the pen would be a good move to do, but if you could get Luis Hill and you could stretch out that starting rotation, you could save Max Fried for the postseason where you're going to need him the most, and Carlos Rodon also, because as phenomenal as both Max Fried and Carlos Rodon has pitched for the New York Yankees this year, both of them should be at the All-Star game, more Max Fried than Rodon, but both of them have been phenomenal. Both guys have injury concerns. Both guys at any moment could stub their toe and land on the IL and be done for like 2 months or 1 month for the season. Knock on wood, don't want that to happen. But if I'm the New York Yankees, I'm seriously thinking about when Luis Hill comes back, going to a 6-man rotation.
Interesting. I've heard some people say 6-man rotation is possible. I've also heard people throwing around Clark Schmidt's name as a possible trade chip because obviously everybody needs pitching.
No, we did that with Jordan Montgomery. No,
that's true. That's actually a really good comp, Hector.
No.
That's actually a really, really good comp that I haven't heard anybody else bring up. Good for you. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. It's going to be interesting. Ryan Yarbrough has been awesome. My brother, my long lost brother, Ryan Yarbrough. Having him back in the pen would be huge. Obviously, Devin Williams, our vaunted setup guy.
Grace, I saw you because it's like what first of all, I was writing my script for my post game. No, I did my whole post game show and I fucked up on it. I had to delete it and I didn't put it out there. But I was writing my script to the post game. The first tweet I got from you, come on, Devin. That's the first tweet I got. I'm writing my post-game notes, right? My post-game script, and all of a sudden I get a notification from Grace Monroe. Come on, Devin, in capital letters.
Because I was like, come on, don't do this, please. Like, I couldn't believe my eyes. And it just goes to show you, I think my next tweet was, quote, 9th inning ain't like the 8th inning, end quote. William Shakespeare. Because he's been looking so good. He's been looking so good in the 8th inning. He even had some good, like, 10th innings when we went into extras. But that 9th inning in Devin Williams, Luke Weaver needs to stay there for me. I don't want to say Luke Weaver is my closer like everybody says, but like it's true. It needs to stay. Devin Williams is a great setup guy. He's been great. And then Luke Weaver to close it out. That's for me. That was his audition and he blew it, Hector. That was his chance to get back in.
This is what I'm going to say.
No, okay.
When it comes to Devin Williams, right? He hit a bump in the road. He looked horrible in that 9th inning. But like you said, as a setup guy, as a guy that you go to late in the game in extra innings and critical pressure situations, he's been able to get the out. I'm just going to toss that outing to a blip on the radar. If a situation presents itself where you have to sit Luke Weaver and rest Luke Weaver and you need somebody to go out there and get the save, I still will want to give it to Devin Williams just for him to get corrected. Now, if it's a 1-run lead, I may not go to Devin Williams. I may go to Fernando Cruz. If it's a 3-run lead in a safe situation or a 2-run lead in a safe situation, I may go with Devin Williams. I know the option or the possibility of using Fernando Cruz is very intriguing for Yankee fans, especially with how phenomenal he has been this season. But Cruz has never been a closer. At least with Luke Weaver, there's a track record, right? Devin Williams is a track record. I will go to Fernando Cruz in an emergency situation if he was healthy and if he was available. Personally, me. If I'm Aaron Boone, if I see Devin Williams struggling, giving up 2 runs, yeah, I'm going to Fernando Cruz and I'm getting Devin Williams out the game. I'm not letting him finish that game the way that they let him finish the game the other day. Personally. But again, it was against the Angels. If it was against the Red Sox, I think it would be different. If it was against the Mets, I think it would be different. If it was against the Detroit Tigers, I think handling the bullpen would have been a lot different than what it was against the Angels because it was the Angels.
Copy. But for me, I've seen what I needed to see. And when it comes to postseason, I don't want Devin Williams anywhere near the 9th inning. Period, point blank, end of sentence, next paragraph. Okay? Postseason, I'm not interested. Against the Angels, sure, whatever. I don't blame Boone for putting him in. But I've seen what I needed to see, and at this point, it's like if we didn't have another option, if we didn't have Luke Weaver, right? I'd be like, okay, it'd be different.
But this is a situation, a scenario if Luke Weaver is not available. If Luke Weaver is not available, if Luke Weaver is not available, I'm gonna trust Devin Williams more than someone who's never closed before in their career. Personally, just personally. But if I have to choose Luke Weaver or Devin Williams, I'm going with Luke Weaver, especially this season with the numbers that he has put up.
Exactly. But he's gonna be available. He's going to be available in the postseason. God, please put a white light of protection around Luke Weaver because, I don't want Devin Williams anywhere near the 9th inning in a big game in the postseason, period.
Luke Weaver has a 0.73 ERA. I know he gave up a home run against a Rock during the Rockies series, but he has a 0.73 ERA on the season. Before that home run, he had a 0.40 ERA. Luke Weaver is having a phenomenal season during a contract year because he's going to be a free agent at the end of the season. He's going to get paid. He's going to get paid big bucks. But like you said, Grace, if both are available and we need to get that win, this the postseason, I'm definitely going with Luke Weaver over Devin Williams. But if Luke wasn't available, I'd rather go with Devin Williams than anybody else in that bullpen, personally.
Yeah, I could see that. I think Mark Leiter does well when he comes in for a clean inning. When he comes in, with runners on, I think he kind of gets a little rattled. He feels the pressure. He wants to perform for his teammates. I think he's a real team-oriented guy. That's just my feel. And when he comes in with a clean inning, you see a totally different side of Mark Leiter Jr. And I like that.
I'm gonna tell you this last night when I was watching the game because I was streaming Fortnite last night. Make sure you guys go and follow on TikTok. But I had the game on as well. And when I saw Mark Leiter being brought in the game, do you know what came in my head? All I heard was "Child, what we doing?" Like that's all I heard when Mark Leiter Jr. was brought in the game. And credit to Mark Leiter, he was able to get out. I think he allowed just 1 hit. He was able to strike out the last batter. He popped up all happy to end the game. Whatever it was,
he struck him out.
Yeah,
JC Escara framed the shit out of that.
Yeah, he did.
They ended the game on a ball. Let's talk about this. They ended the game on the ball. Next year, if the ABS system was rocking and rolling, the game would not have been over, period. That was a ball. But shout out to JC Escara. He killed it, and he did his job.
I want to say this. When it comes to JC, he has done everything right. JC as a backup catcher, somebody that came into spring training as the third catcher, he won that backup catcher job with the way that he has played. When you look at JC Escarra, somebody that I've had the pleasure of meeting, conversations all the time at the stadium, JC Escarra is a gamer. JC Escarra is somebody you saw. How many times did they foul off the ball and it clipped or nicked JC Escarra last night? It was probably like 5, 6, 7, 8 times they said it on the broadcast. JC Escarra is a dog, and that's somebody that if he's a 26th man on the roster, his value is something that doesn't come up in a scouting report. The value that he has because of the intangibles he brings, because of the same thing that he has, the same thing that Oswaldo has, that camaraderie, that joy for life that people just gravitate to. JC Escarra is one of the best human beings that are out there, not just baseball players. I love JC Escarra.
Yeah, I've been giving him love on Twitter, and just saying the other day I wrote some tweet about JC Escarra and his wife liked it.
Oh, she's awesome.
And I was like, oh my God. I was like fangirling. I was like, oh my God, shout out to JC Escarra's wife. We love you. I didn't say anything though. I played it really cool, but she did like my tweet and I was like, that's cool.
No, congratulations to them because they are expecting a child any day now. So shout out to them. I wish JC Escarra and Mrs. Escarra the best, especially when it comes to the little one they're bringing into this world. But Grace, we're going to wrap things up because we got to get out of here in 4 minutes. We're to preview the Dodgers versus the Yankees, the rematch of the World Series, the Rumble, and it's not the concrete jungle because they're over there on the West Coast, but the Rumble that was in the concrete jungle because the Dodgers and the Yankees once played in the same city, once played in the same state. I know this is now separate years. This is 2025, but we're matching up now with the LA Dodgers, a rematch of the World Series. What are you expecting and what are you looking forward to in this upcoming 3-game set?
This is going to be must-watch TV. I mean, I think all three. Moose, stop. Moose, stop. Sorry, y'all, my dog.
Shout out to Moose.
Moose, stop it. Sorry, y'all. I'm such a dog mom. But yeah, this is going to be must-watch TV. I think all 3 games are on national television, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Excuse me. If you think that this game does not matter to our New York Yankees boys, I got another thing coming for you, okay? Because all the smack talk that the Los Angeles Dodgers have been dishing out about the New York Yankees over the offseason, all of the victory lapping they've been doing, all of the mouths they've been running about our defense, about playing Yankees baseball, about how they dunked on us in our own home field and won the World Series and collected the trophy in the Bronx, how they were walking around singing New York, New York, because we used to play New York, New York, even when we lost.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't think that they have had this series circled on their schedule, that is not true. Let me spoil it for you. That ain't true. They are looking forward to this game series. I'm looking forward to the game series. And unfortunately, they're not going to face our best pitching, but I still expect it to be really competitive games. And don't forget, the Dodgers just recently got swept by the Angels, who we just swept. So let's fucking go.
I'm with you. Shout out to my guy Cheesy Soul Cakes in the building. Sean Browning as well. Somewhere in baseball heaven, Yogi is arguing with the ump over Jackie Robinson stealing home and the 1955 World Series. Absolutely. Shout out to my guy Sean Browning, who is in the building. Friday, Max Fried is pitching against Tony Gonsolin. Saturday, Will Warren against Landon Knock. And then Sunday is Ryan Yarborough against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And when you look at Yamamoto, him and Max Fried are probably having the best seasons in baseball for both the American League and the National League. Max Fried is 7-0 with a 1.29 ERA. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is 6-3 with a 1.97 ERA. This is going to be a matchup of pitching. I know Max Fried is on Friday. Yamamoto is on Sunday. Best believe They're going to be feeding off of each other. Max Fried is out there first. Yamamoto is going to be coming there on game 3 for Sunday, trying to bounce back for the Dodgers, whether the Yankees win or lose the first 2 games. I don't know. But when you look at Max Fried, a matchup against the Dodgers, this is what I want to see. Because if the Yankees, knock on wood, we get back to the World Series, it could be a rematch against the Dodgers. Max Fried, he has history against the Dodgers, pitching for the Braves. So I want to see what Max Fried does in his first start as a Yankee versus the LA Dodgers. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. And then Will Warren on Saturday. And like you said, every game is nationally televised. Friday is Apple. Friday is Apple. Saturday is Fox. And Sunday is ESPN.
Gross. But I do think there's a chance. Is there a chance that we could slot Rodon in on Sundays because of the off day?
Maybe. I'm not sure if the Yankees will want to move him. I know there's an off day today, so it's he'll be on a 5-day rest per se. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Again, it's June. It's the beginning of June.
You're right.
I'm not too sure. I'm not sure how
that's
petty.
The fan in me.
I'm not sure how petty Aaron Boone want to get. You know, Aaron Boone could become Miss Petty Betty. You know, real quick.
Oh, well, anyway, they're going to act like it doesn't even mean anything. It's just a series.
Yeah, it's
it means something.
Game, it's
yeah,
a game.
That's what they're going to say.
Out there, you got to play every inning, every pitch.
Right. It's a long season, blah, blah, blah. No, y'all, we're all looking forward to this. I guarantee the Dodgers are looking forward to this too. They know what they've been saying. But I think there's only like 3 position players that are the same as last year. Like, Judge is in a different spot.
Well, yeah, Judge is in a different spot. We got Cody Bellinger, Jason Dominguez. Jazz is not playing, so you got another second baseman and third baseman. Volpe, we got a new first. You're right.
Volpe.
So
Volpe, Judge.
Wells,
Volpe.
Wells, Volpe. That's it.
That's it.
That's the only same position players from last year's World Series. Because Judge, we could throw Judge in there. It's just honoring kind of or whatever. But everybody else is brand new. So this is a different squad.
Yeah, because Judge was playing center. He wasn't playing right. So it is different. But like Judge with an asterisk and then Volpe and Wells. You're right. There's nobody else.
You know what sucks real quick? Because thinking about the roster and thinking about players, Anthony Rizzo.
I know.
Anthony Rizzo. Forced to retire. It's not official, but he hasn't signed with anybody.
I know.
It sucks. The Dodgers were in town last week. I was able to get an interview with Andy Pajes from the Dodgers. I'm going to play this real quick, and then we are going to exit the show. Let me just... What's up, guys? This is your guy, Hector Grace with Latino Sports, and we are here con Andy Pajes. Andy, ¿cómo se te hoy?
Muy bien, muy bien. Venimos de un gran juego literalmente de hoy mismo, pero estamos aquí de nuevo.
We're in Queens right now, right? Queens is known for its dynamics when it comes to like the food, the options. Being in LA with the Dodgers, how does the food compare with the Latino culture that's over there and the Latino diaspora que está aquí en Nueva York?
Yo diría que, o sea, en LA, o sea, tiene varias opciones, ya que está la mexicana, la cubana, la dominicana también. Aquí he tenido más como más dominicano, ¿sabes? Más esa comida y cada vez que vengo aquí o a los Yankees, eso es lo comemos.
With Latino Sports, we present the Latino MVP Award in Major League Baseball, and we've been presenting it since 1990. You were the finalist for last year when it comes to like the rookies. Can you explain how important it is to have an award like that for the Latino baseball players?
Sí, al principio como que cuando yo vi eso, o sea, obviamente tú te pones como, te emocionas por eso, pero o sea, yo diría que una de las cosas que me afectó un poquito fue, o sea, preocuparme de más por eso, por tratar de hacer más. Yo diría que eso no es bueno para uno, ya que o sea, te pone una presión, una preocupación extra, y yo diría que eso fue una de las cosas por la cual estuve fuera.
For nosotros Latinos, familia, that's very important to us. Can you speak on when you came over to the States at a very young age, how was that transition? Leaving your family, tu padre, tu mamá, everybody back home to start this journey over here in the Estados Unidos?
Es un poco difícil, ¿sabes? Porque, o sea, literal ahora mismo mi familia todavía está en Cuba y tantos años separados es bastante difícil, pero desde que yo salí de Cuba salí con un propósito, con una misión que fue tratar de lograr mi sueño y eso es lo que está en mi mente cada día y por eso sigo adelante.
Andy, this is Latino Sports. Make sure you guys visit the website latinosports.com, and until next time, deuces.
Great interview, Hector.
That was a good interview. It's such a great interview. And also, too, at the end, right? It wasn't on camera when he was leaving. He was saying bye. And one of the Latino journalists, they asked him, was like, what food do you like better? Like, from what team, the Mets or the Yankees? And he said the Yankees. And he was like, the Yankees, they just give you all this food. And he said in Spanish, he's like, damn, I don't know how to properly translate. Basically, what he said was, I think the Yankees just want to feed you to just make you fall asleep and make you tired so you don't play the game.
Hey, I like that strategy. We'll do anything to win.
I got more interviews coming out. Like I said, the Jack Leiter interview will be coming out. I got a Jazz Chisholm interview as well. JC Escara. I just been backed up with a lot of work. I literally got about like 6 or 7 interviews that I will be editing as well. But Grace, I love doing this show for you. I
love doing it with you, Hector. Bestie. You're going places, and I'm just riding those coattails the whole way.
No, we both going places. What you talking about? Let's shout out the chat before we get out of here. Tina, I appreciate you. Sean Browning was in the building as well. Alex A, Mr. TC Stills, Cheesy Soul Cakes was in the building. Hector Cruz, how you doing? Salute. 3 capital S's. Of course, we had Nosebleed section in the building. My guy Nosebleed, Justin Custodio, and the Ace Avenue was in the building as well. Richie Gonzalez was here. Who else was here? Sorry if I'm missing some names. Pretty Lou was in the building as well. Definitely want to shout all of you guys out. This is the Yankees Morning Brew. I'm your guy, Hector Beauchamp.
I'm Grace Monroe.
This is Yankees Morning Brew. And until next time,
let's beat the Dodgers.
Let's beat the Dodgers. Arriba the Dirche, and drink some water, and bye-bye. Why won't this end? This is not ending. This is awkward.
In Texas, we say, see y'all later.
There you go. See y'all later.
You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.